I thought PitchitTO was amazing when I got here. I couldn't believe how many people were here. It was packed in this place, and I just really thought, I was kind of nervous, and I don't normally get nervous. I figured there'd be 10 people here, but there was probably closer to 50, 60, 70 people in here. It was packed, and the questions were amazing. The judges were really on point. They really asked poignant questions, and I think it was a great overall experience. Thank you for having us.
We on? We ready? All right. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Come on. How's everybody doing? All right. My name is Alan.
Is Seneca in the house?
Seneca! We're going to be looking for people to hire, so yeah, stay tuned. No, the hands go up. My name is Alan, and this is my partner, Dan. We started a company called MetaVRse a little under a year ago, and we're a virtual reality agency. And the word MetaVRse, just to kind of give you some context, is the world you're in when you're in virtual reality. So it's kind of like calling your company the internet when you started the internet. So it's a bit of a ballsy name, but we figured we could pull it off. So that's what we chose, and that's why we chose it. We do business solutions for enterprise clients. So I'm going to show you a video. I'm going to start with a video. So if you can't see it, I'm going to move this banner here. This is the conference we did for HBO Canada. You can keep the music playing. Come on, keep it going. Oh yeah, keep the music playing. Oh yeah. So this is a conference we did for HBO Canada. It's just an example of one of the things we've done. This was just recent, that's why we were putting it up.
Amazing. I really loved it. You should try it. Really, really fun. You're like in a new world. You're trying a totally different
There you go.
Okay, so can I ask, how many people in the room have actually tried the new generation of virtual reality in any form? Okay, that's actually quite a lot. I'd say this is a pretty entrepreneurial crowd, a pretty techie crowd, so we're going to have more people in this room than in most rooms. If we just go to the next slide. Virtual reality industry, the slide that we are about to show is talking about how fast the industry is growing right now. We would consider that 2007 is kind of year one, whereas 2016 was year zero. Last year, all of the major companies, basically except for Apple, came out with their own virtual reality products. Samsung, Sony, Google, Facebook, by buying Oculus, and the HTC Vive was what you saw in that video. A lot of the analysts for the industry are estimating between 120 to 150 billion dollar global value of the augmented and virtual reality industry by 2020. That's going to be 142% compound growth over the next 5 years, so it really is going to be exponential growth. And we're going to be getting up to 171 million users, active users by 2018, and going pretty far out to the 2030s. City Financial has actually estimated that the industry could be worth over $1 trillion because of virtual commerce becoming the successor to e-commerce.
All right, so our vision for MetaVRse is to become the trusted brand and the world-leading authority on virtual and augmented reality for enterprise and for business. So that's our vision, and we're pretty on track for that. I'm not going to lie. A year ago, we started this, and already we've spoken at all the major conferences in Canada. We're speaking at the CVR conference, which is the Canadian Virtual Reality in Vancouver.
Consumer Virtual Reality.
Consumer Virtual Reality in Vancouver. We're speaking at VRLA, which is one of the biggest VR conferences in Los Angeles. And what's the other one?
Augmented World Expo.
Augmented World Expo. We just finished PDAC, which is, anybody know what PDAC is? The mining conference? Yeah, woo! Yes, mining. Let's dig things in. So we spoke there, and we actually were interviewed on BNN and TheStreet.com and a bunch of other things. So it was really, really amazing, the media that we're getting, and we're actually establishing ourselves as the world leaders for this. So the vision's coming true, everybody.
So the opportunity, when I asked everybody if they've actually used virtual or augmented reality yet, most people have not, and that includes the people who make marketing and IT decisions for a lot of companies. And if you could imagine going into a lot of companies 10, 12 years ago talking about mobile strategy, most of them would have looked at you as if you were crazy. Virtual and augmented reality are actually growing as platforms at a faster rate of adoption than mobile did in the early days. And we're already seeing a lot of applications, everything from really realistic training simulations, that was one of the things we were talking about in the mining industry, to a lot of marketing and branded activations at this point. But as the consumer adoption grows to the point where everybody will eventually have a phone that is a high-powered virtual reality device, and augmented reality as well, you're going to see a lot more applications as the market expands.
So the problem that we found is that brands are now faced with a new communication medium. We had the internet come along, and then there was agencies that specialized in bringing people websites. There was people charging thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to put together a website. Then we had digital. Okay, we're gonna be a social media agency, and we had social media agencies come on board and charge hundreds of thousands of dollars. And Dan was the head of social media for Bell Canada prior to being in MetaVRse, so we know a little bit about that as well. And the future communication platform that we face is virtual and augmented reality. So as a specialized VR AR agency, we're positioning ourselves to be the authority for these brands. And it's really, really interesting because what we're doing now is we're doing a lot of client work, and it's giving us the ability to understand what clients want. What do brands need? And what we're doing in the back end is we're building an IP strategy where we build it for them, but we own and retain the IP. So, for example, we built a 360-degree photo booth for Samsung. It's a giant cube. It was a giant dome at the time. And inside is a green screen room. You take a picture with their camera, and now you can Photoshop yourself into space or underwater or on the moon or whatever you want to do, and see yourself in virtual reality right away. So we built that for Samsung. They deployed it. We deployed it for Chorus as well with Sony's launch of Timeless, which it's actually been nominated for 3 awards. So hopefully we win a couple of those.
The photo booth, not the show.
It's nice. And so our strategy of kind of listening to clients, what they want, and then building it for them and retaining the IP, that's our strategy long term.
And so our business model, we are an agency. So right now we've kept our company very lean and to the point where we actually outsource a lot of our technical development, which allows us to scale to take on very large projects and very small projects and get that breadth of knowledge. But really our ultimate goal is to become an agency of record where we're kept on retainer at a point where companies actually require a VR agency of record. We'd say that some already do. Most companies don't at this point, but we're building towards that.
Most of the stuff we're starting now is project-based, and every client that we speak with knows that our ultimate goal is to become their VR agency of record. And having that conversation right up front allows them to envision how they might need us in the future, which is really, really a great strategy. Our revenue model is to use the agency model to generate cash flow while we build the back-end systems, as well as build our IP portfolio. So right now we've got 2 patents we've applied for. We'll be building out a couple more awesome things in 2017. So more to come for that. And then obviously our goal is to make products, not create more work for ourselves by doing all these projects. So by doing the projects, it's telling us what clients want so we can build products and platforms.
And we generally won't start building something until we have a signed contract from a client, which
show me the money
has worked out really well so far.
So my partner Dan, he's a recovering lawyer. He's also decided to go back to school after that, because who wants to do law except for that guy? He doesn't even want to do law. He went back and did his MBA and became the head of social media for Bell Canada, and now thankfully he's my partner and we get to do this together every day. It's pretty awesome.
And Alan was the founder and inventor of a amazing technology. It was a big touchscreen DJ controller that was used by international DJs around the world. Alan is actually a DJ himself, also a recovering DJ, as I'm a recovering lawyer, and has been the founder of a few 3 companies at this point, and has had exits from all 3 of them. So, yeah.
Some of our strategic advisors. Does anybody know who Robert Scoble is? There's one. Couple people. If you don't know who Robert Scoble is, look him up. He's a preeminent tech blogger. He used to work for Rackspace. Before that, he was with Microsoft. Now he's with Upload VR. And he just wrote the book, The Fourth Transformation, which is a book about virtual and augmented reality and the power of what it's going to come. Our second advisor is Brett Chenner from Mass Minority. He was the former CEO of Saatchi and Saatchi Canada. So.
And then just to quickly review our IP, we mentioned the 360 photo booth. Part of that was patented, as well as this light source that makes the photo booth possible. We're researching a 360 spherical printer that will allow us to actually print those 360 photos onto balls. So imagine
for your Christmas tree,
Christmas
awesome,
ornaments.
Right?
Customize, and then a few other platforms that will become even more scalable. We're running out of time here. So.
Okay. So we did really well last year. We did, with our first year, we did a little over $500,000. We haven't rounded out the full year yet. We estimate we're going to hit about 800,000 next year. Our projected is about $3 million. And we have a very healthy margins on everything. We're actually looking to raise $250,000 actually from a debt instrument called a SAFE, which is short form for simple agreement for future equity. And what that means is basically it's a convertible debt without an interest rate. So basically it's going to convert anyway at a future date. And we're offering $250,000 at a 15% discount at a cap of $10 million, which means if you invest now with us, and when we go to raise the next round at a $10 million valuation, you'll get a 15% discount on that, on your money that rolls into it. So that's that, and you guys can reach us. Everything is at MetaVRse, MetaVRse. Get that? Okay. Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. That was good. You were only 45 seconds over, so we let it slide, but decided to tell everybody so they don't think I'm not timekeeping. Okay, so let's go into some questions. Who has a question in the audience?
How will you retain IP if you're contracting out the actual development?
So the question is, how are we going to retain IP if we're contracting out to the development? So, good lawyers is the answer. So we have a very good contract lawyer on staff, and they make sure that in our contracts we own the IP. And clients who don't like that can pay a premium and have it exclusive to them, but most of what we do, we own the IP. Most clients don't care as long as they're the first in the world. They don't care to be second. They want to be first, and that's it. But a lot of the stuff we're building in the back end is really useful tools. We built a retail platform so that and long story short, it takes the virtual reality headset and makes it retail friendly so people can't mess around and mess with it and get into Windows or Android. Any other questions?
What about the developer? Wouldn't they want to keep their...
The developers don't get anything. They get paid. And they also sign another contract that says they get nothing. They don't get recognition. Unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbles. They get paid.
I mean, there are some projects that we work on where we are white labeling, and there are some projects where there are multiple brands on the name of it. It just depends on the project.
I'm just wondering, even if you have it in legal form, how do you then retain it in actual intellectual form? As in, can you really use that intellectual property if you don't know if you didn't develop it yourself? You don't have that development in-house.
We have a team of developers in-house that vet all of this. So rather than scale our development team, we just kept it really tight. We vet everything, make sure that all the code is tight, and we work with a really, really good group of developers all over the world, and we've been very, very lucky to have amazing developers everywhere. So.
Funny question. How come you say it takes 4 seconds to load if you have a team of developers working on it?
4 seconds to load what?
The website.
Huh?
The website takes 4 seconds.
Our website does take a long time to load, and we're working on it. I know, it's a pain in the ass. Thanks for telling me. No. You want to fix our
Sounds
website?
good.
Are you looking for a summer internship? We don't pay. Perfect. Okay, done. Sold. See me after.
Anybody else?
I like this guy. Yes. What are we going to do with the 250K?
So the 250K is basically right now.
Oh, come on. You ruined it. I was just going to. No, anyway,
No,
there's
go
kids
ahead.
in the crowd. Never mind.
Right now, we've got a lot of clients who like to take a long time to pay us. Especially when we're dealing with very large companies like the Bell Medias and Whirlpool and companies like that we've worked with. They've got 90-day, 120-day payment terms. So really, just to keep our operations going, we need a bit of a buffer because of the fact that we are going on a project-to-project basis, and we don't have these retainers in place right now. But as that goes forward, we don't anticipate actually having to take on any more money unless we really want to scale up, and at that point we would do a Series A. But it's not in the immediate plans at this point.
Then do you have an exit with this, or is this something you plan to build up as an agency, continue to run it, and then give up distributions to those who are the safe holders?
So there is an exit strategy. Virtual reality is about to, well, it's taking off, as many of you see it in the media, but really where we see this going in 2020, this is going to peak at a massive, massive amount of, everybody's going to have VR. As soon as Apple enters the market, things are going to get crazy. And we've got Magic Leap coming on board. By the time 2020 rolls around, virtual and augmented reality will be a pair of glasses that everybody has. And there's also some other factors. There's a movie called Ready Player One that's coming out, which will, again, it's all about virtual reality, and it's a Steven Spielberg movie, so that's going to really kind of create this fever pitch. And our goal is to sell our company, the number's 100 million, by 2020, and the goal is to sell to another bigger agency and kind of fold all our IP underneath that. Yeah. Anybody else?
Okay, judges.
All right.
Thanks, guys. I mean, it's obviously a great market and very interesting. So, Alan, you've had a few exits and stuff, right? So you've been through raising capital, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay, so what investor is going to get out of bed for 250K in the safe? I mean, the safe, I understand finance very well, so I get what you're investing in. Who would do it for 250K, especially with a cap of 10 million? And
we're not going after VC money. We're going after angels.
Right?
No, we're going after angels. We're self-funded anyway, so we've got cash flow coming in. We've got clients. This is just literally a buffer, and we had to pick a number for this event, so
okay,
we picked the number.
Get that? Okay.
So what are we going to say?
And then to your strategy. So you're essentially becoming the marketing firm that's going to come in and sell to all the big brands and say, hey, we've been doing this for this long. You don't know what you're doing. You're the incumbent guys that aren't used to this type of stuff. That's your strategy for this.
Yeah. So once we lock up a couple of larger brands, which we're in negotiations right now with several large brands to be their AR VR agency of record. Once you lock a couple of those up, you become a really valuable target for these companies.
Sure.
And having the network and connections that we have, we can really leverage that.
And it wasn't clear. Have you guys landed one yet, or no? Or
we're still working on it.
Okay.
They're in various stages of me beating it into them.
Well, yeah, it's brand new. It's something that's new.
You need an agency for something you have never even tried.
Yeah.
I'll just add that the tech companies like Samsung and HTC, they love us because they know that the consumer market is going to take a little while to take off. But right now, they know that businesses actually do have the budgets to invest in it. So HTC, for example, has an entire enterprise division, and there aren't a lot of companies like us working in the space right now. So, for example, we were one of the only companies at this mining conference just a couple of weeks ago with 22,000 professionals from around the world, and they were just, everybody was excited about it. So our phone has been ringing off the hook since that conference, for example.
And it's tough to critique, right? Because it's such an open market. It's growing massively quick. But what are your thoughts on Facebook? I mean, if everybody's used to using Facebook, they're getting into the market, wouldn't they just continue to use Facebook for their advertising?
That's a question.
Okay.
Sure. Well, so Facebook invested in Oculus, and you might ask, why would a company like Facebook buy a virtual reality company?
No, I know why they would. That makes perfect sense.
Okay.
What my question is, why wouldn't the people that are already buying Facebook ads just use Facebook when they come up with strategies?
Even the people at Facebook don't know what's going on in virtual reality. We went and did a demo at their office.
Okay.
And we showed their team here in Toronto virtual reality for the first time. So it's a big company, and virtual reality is a very small speck in their scope. Facebook introduced 360 videos and stuff, and that's the first step, but they're really early stage still.
Essentially, Merck's pet project.
Yeah.
Really?
It's a $3 billion pet project.
Yeah, but he's a smart guy. I wouldn't think it's his pet project. He's going in for the massive 2 point whatever trillion you just threw up on the screen. But anyways, I get it. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
I just attended the car show in Toronto, and Mazda had it. We had it. Infinity, we had that. You got to sit down. They even had the ventilators sort of blowing the wind through your hair as you were pretending to drive. So I think there's a market. There's two elements of it. Obviously the fun, and then there's the business side, training. I think huge potential there in that piece of it. I guess my only concern would be the pants. When you get to a certain level, pants are worth their weight in gold. And patents. Yeah, patents. So once you get to that point, a lot of the big boys, I'm nervous that they're not going to be willing to give you that patent on some of these items and some of these functions. So I think it's good to have the dual perspective of we'll do it for you for a higher price, or we do that. So I think that's good. Strategic advisor is great. Having the people who know the business and who have an idea of this, I think is critical. And again, good audience interaction in terms of the milestones and the elevator pitch. I think it's good. The ask, we dealt with that. So hard to critique. It's just an issue of, like you said, it's very fluid right now, and it's good that you're putting you're starting the game and see where it goes from that. But congratulations.
Thank you. Okay. Startup name, MetaVRse. The all-encompassing universe. Great name, very futuristic. You two speak very well. You've got really good energy. The back and forth between the two of you is you do it very well. Yeah, high five.
I missed the high five.
My point 3, you need to define what you do better. You said we do services for enterprise customers. Like, what does that mean? And I know that
You're absolutely
later.
Right.
Well, later
Absolutely.
later you go into, it was unclear whether you were an agency or a product company, and it was 5 minutes into the pitch before you explained what that was. It might be better to say something like, we deliver AR, VR projects with companies that do, describe what they do, and provide maybe an example of some of the type of work you do, like training videos, virtual tours. Actually describe what you actually do at the front, so people aren't trying to figure out what you do. Okay?
Great.
That's a great piece of advice. Thank you. Wonderful.
Oh, sorry.